Welcome to another episode of the Palace Huddle Podcast. Here are your hosts, Rob Schwartz and Justin Onayemi, two Bears fans who decided talking into a microphone was better than shouting at their television.
What's up, Palace Huddlers? I got no one to huddle up with tonight. In a way, I'll be huddling up with Matt Forte. That's right. Last week, I was lucky enough to sit down virtually with Matt Forte and get his take on a couple of things. But the interview itself was set up in conjunction with Matt Forte teaming up with Smirnoff Smash Vodka Soda. I bought these over the weekend just to see what these things taste like, and I was really excited about the orange pineapple. It wasn't as good. It didn't live up to the expectations that I had. You'll hear in the interview that Matt Forte actually recommends the watermelon lime, so I'm going to give that a quick taste test right here on the show. But as always, I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On. And yes, this is going to be a Matt Forte interview episode that I'm going to put out there for you. But before we get to that, please hit the subscribe button. We are 8 subscribers away from giving away a free NFL jersey of your choice. As long as it's not custom, it can be any player, any team. Doesn't have to be a Bears player. I know that, they're not doing that great. So yeah, hit the subscribe button. That's all you got to do to be entered into that free giveaway. We'll give that away as soon as we hit 700 subscribers. We are 8 away. 8. That's it. Share this. Get this out there. Make your, friends, family subscribe. Get yourself more chances to win. Okay. Also, if you're looking to make any bets on the NFL or any other sport currently going on right now, go over to our sign-up page sponsored by BetStamp at signupexpert.com/huddle, and you will find all of the best sports books and odds and sign-up offers in your area. Okay, just click what state you're in. Boom, it'll give you all the different sports books. I just noticed recently that there's a bunch of new ones here in Illinois. So if you're looking for a couple new books to jump on, maybe use those sign-up offers, go check that out. See if there's a few new ones for you to use as well. All right, let's give this a shot. It definitely tastes more watermelon than lime. I'm a big watermelon flavored guy. I'm not a big fan of watermelon itself, which is kind of odd. But I do like the taste of watermelon. Watermelon Jolly Ranchers growing up, that was a big one for me. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not a big, I wouldn't call this maybe a seltzer. It's a little different than a seltzer, but I'm more of a whiskey drinker, so this is a little bit different. It's definitely sweet. I think women would definitely like it a little bit more than men. I'm not trying to stereotype, but if you do like these types of drinks, I would say, I've had the other ones that are out there. I prefer the lemonade flavor. I know Smirnoff has some lemonade flavors. I'm going to give this a good 7 out of 10. And that's high remarks for me because, again, I'm usually just a whiskey and Coke guy. So, all right. Before we get into it, during the interview, I do bring it up a little bit, but I do want to put this out there. Tomorrow, Matt Forte will be entertaining a bunch of people at SPF Chicago. It is a pickleball court. They have a bunch of other things too there, but SPF Chicago off North Clybourne Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. I did look, and I'll put the link in the description, but it does appear that there's still spots available. What I can't tell is if it means that you can actually participate in the tournament, because what's going to end up happening is this tournament's going to be going on. It's a pickleball tournament. And if whoever wins the tournament then gets to go to the championship round against Matt Forte and Kaiser, who used to play for the Chicago Sky. So two former athletes. I just can't tell for sure. It starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Again, the link will be in the description, but it does look like there are spots available, 1 to 2 people. But they're going to have open play, DJ, food, drinks, and tournament watching. And the fact that this says tournament watching makes me feel like it's not anything within the tournament itself anymore. I think it's more just to watch, enjoy the the ambiance, and again, maybe you get to see or meet Matt Forte himself. I'm not exactly sure how that will work, but again, if you got nothing else to do tomorrow night, November 20th, whenever you're watching this, Wednesday, November 20th at 7 p.m., SPF Chicago, North Clybourne Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Register, book, go check it out. All right, let's get into the interview. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. We're here obviously because you're partnering with Smirnoff Smash Vodka Soda, and you're competing in the Smash Pickleball series next week. So
Yeah.
could you just tell us a little bit about how you are with that, how you're involved with that event, and how it feels to be competing again in Chicago?
Yeah. Me and Smirnoff have teamed up to do a lot of stuff around Chicago, but I'm glad we're doing this because it's a more competitive type of one that I haven't done before. But I have played pickleball before. But this is a pickleball smash tournament with Smirnoff Smash Vodka soda that's got bold flavors, man, and ready to drink. So it'll be a lot of fun because at the tournament there's going to be food trucks, there's going to be a DJ. Obviously, Smirnoff will be there with apparel and gear and stuff, but then the Smash Sodas will be there. But then I'm going to be teaming up with Kaiser, one of the former Chicago Sky players, who's going to be my teammate against whoever makes it to the championship round on November 20th. So that tournament is going to be coming down to the end against me and her. So whoever makes it there will be going against two pro athletes or former pro athletes that will be playing pickleball. So we'll see what goes on that day.
Yeah, so I looked today and it does look like there are some spots available still. So if people are looking to go, make sure to get on there. And I don't have the link obviously in front of me, but you can just search it up. It's at the SPF Chicago Convention Center. And they are going to be, again, you can register one person, 2 people, and there are spots still available as of today. Um, so you mentioned you have played pickleball before. Do you feel like being an NFL athlete, does that give you any advantage in this game over some of this competition?
I think it does from the standpoint of athleticism, agility, and competitiveness. I would say that just because I'm a guy who I still work out, I still remain athletic. I didn't just fall off the cliff after retirement because I got two boys and they play sports and I want to dominate them as long as possible as well. But yeah, I grew up actually. I played pickleball in seventh and eighth grade at Clearwood Junior High in Louisiana in Slidell, and it was a sport that I hadn't even heard of. And when I realized it wasn't like tennis, but you used the wiffle ball and like this paddle, it actually was really intriguing. And a teammate of mine in Little League that went to school with me, we actually ended up winning in the seventh and eighth grade tournament those years, and it was fun to play. But I'm a big fan of ping pong and tennis, and I've played both of those. And then I've also played, sparingly in retirement once pickleball started to get popular. Um, I've been to actual conferences before where in the free time there was pickleball tournaments, and they were really fun to be a part of. A good friend of mine who played in the MLB as a Hall of Famer for the Cardinals, Matt Holliday, he's retired, but he's huge into pickleball. And so at some of these conferences that we've been at together, we get out there and play. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. So I do think we have a little bit of an advantage, but at the same time, it's a whole different game, smaller court, which is good for me, so I don't have to run too far. But it's going to be fun to have not just the festivities of Smirnoff and everything out there, but to compete again at something.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I've never had the Smirnoff Smash vodka soda, but I was looking at the flavors and that orange pineapple one sounds absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
getting that this weekend and giving that a shot.
So try that
Um,
one and the watermelon lime. I've had the watermelon lime and that the one that you were talking about, and they're pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
all right, all right. I will try both. I know my wife will probably like the other ones as well. So it's funny that you say the kids because I also have two boys and it's the same thing. The competition doesn't stop. So you're living up to your workhorse nickname there.
That's right. That's right. They if I gotta breed workhorses, man, then I have to be one in order to show them the way. So, they have no choice but to and they're competitive too. They're always trying to beat dad. And I'm like, look, y'all ain't on my level yet.
Yep.
I gotta at least beat mom first, and then you can try to beat me.
Pickleball kind of it's funny because I didn't realize it was around that long. You said seventh and eighth grade. Um, but it's kind of got this like reputation of being more for like the older, elderly
Mhm.
generation. So what do you say to people who think that that's all it's for? Because I think it's definitely taken on a popularity of its own where it's, not just for the older generation. I see
Yeah.
ads where it's like a ton of young people.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not anything that is on a court or a field that is competitive, especially in that, something with a net is going to be active. And, people say it's for the older people just because the court is smaller and it probably takes less movement or because the age drop off is not as, drastic. You don't see many older people playing flag football or playing, pickup basketball. Every now and then you got some older guys that can make it up and down the court. But when it comes to something like pickleball, they're able to get out there and play. But it is a sport for it's for everybody, young and old, and anybody can really get out there and get smashed. So
Yeah, so again, if you guys want to go if anyone wants to check that out, I suggest they go do that. The Just changing gears a little bit, I haven't listened to it yet, but I saw that you are now co-hosting the Sports Spectrum podcast with Jason
yes, sir.
Romano. I know you guys
Yeah.
are friends. It's kind of been a trend from what I call the Lovie Smith golden age era of the Chicago Bears, with some of your teammates also joining media recently, like Alex Brown, Lance Briggs, Corey Wooten, Olin Kreutz. What sets your podcast, your show, apart from theirs?
Apart from there, is the main thing is that we don't just focus on sports. So we focus on the intersection of faith in sports, which is always going to be there. And when it comes to media, it's something to stand on, it's something to promote, and it's something to have a foundation when it comes to it. Because when it's all said and done, when my life is over, people will understand I played sports and all that, but they probably won't care much about that. What they really will care about is how I made them feel, if I ever was in their presence, if I, spoke not kindly with them or gave them some kind of wisdom or advice. Those are the things that people remember. When someone is on their deathbed, nobody asks to replay their favorite Bears game or highlight or can I put on that jersey or one more time or take a ride in that fancy car one more time. When it comes down to it, it's the core things of life that matter. And what we do is we have players and coaches and even high school players come on and they tell their testimony about how sports has been great in their life or sports has been a launching pad for some other kind of purpose in their life and how life's twists and turns, which it seems to always have, how they've been able to stay solid throughout that time. And it hasn't been on their own. There's sometimes that life brings about issues that you can't control. If I'm speaking, honestly, like my teammate, Peanut Tillman, when I first got to the Bears, his daughter was looking for her or just had a heart transplant. And, that's not on your bingo card when you get married and want to have kids. And to have the faith to be able to pray through things like that and, to have support from other people and teammates and stuff is deeper than just sports. So our podcast separates it because it's separated or it's different because we use that platform to really emphasize how there's a lot deeper issues that we have to walk through in life, and that sports is just kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these things. So the intersection of faith and sports is universal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely added it once I saw that you joined there to my podcast listening downloads. So I'll be checking that out, and I hope everyone else does as well.
Yeah, we got some good guys on there. I mean, Ben Watson was my first
Yep.
uh, interview, and Demario Davis was after that. I mean, you're talking about Pro Bowl type of players, and I mean, Ben played like 15 years, and I think Demario's in like 12 or 13.
I was gonna say I feel like Ben Watson was the Mercedes Lewis before the Mercedes Lewis.
Yeah.
Um, so I also heard an interview that you did with Luke Canellis recently, and you guys were talking about your favorite stadiums, and you had mentioned that Soldier Field was your favorite stadium. You talked about the history that is involved. So I got to ask, where do you stand then on the potential new stadium if they, move to Arlington Heights? Would you rather them be on the lakefront? I know they just recently said that there's a chance they're going to be going to a different location downtown. Um, and do you think it might lose its aura a little bit, whatever they decide to do, even if they build right next door,
Yeah.
as far as the elimination of the history that's involved?
Yeah, so that is my favorite stadium to have played in, even though it's one of the smallest or maybe the smallest currently in the NFL. It was always filled to the brim and live on game day. And even though it was small, it would get really loud in there too. And it's just historic. Those columns and that are over around, the outside of on each side are iconic. If they were to move to Arlington Heights, I would not love that because I feel like Chicago Bears, especially even though we practice way out in Lake Forest, the game's got to be in downtown Chicago. So the lakefront would obviously be more attractive to me. Now to be able to build a giant stadium and have to kind of, if I saw the plans, they wanted to build like this big stadium and then kind of removed gradually the other one, but keep the columns up. I think if long as they keep the history of the stadium around there, because they would keep that field and it would just kind of be an area of people playing and like kind of tailgating and all that stuff before the game. Um, it does kind of dampen the history a little bit, but as long as they keep those, I think, main artifacts up, that would be pretty cool, even though it's a bigger stadium because maybe it's time for new history. We've been holding on to the 85 Bears forever. I was born in 85. It's about time, maybe in my lifetime, to see another championship run or a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was born in 83. So again, my golden era is your guys, generation, that Lovie Smith, decade that I got to watch. And that's definitely the bright spot of my Bears fandom.
Yeah.
Um, Talking about the Bears, and this is a little bit more difficult, I think, to discuss with everything that's happened this week with the letting go of their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. Um, Speak to this if you can, or if you don't feel like it's something you can talk to. I completely understand. But you were a part of a locker room that was rumored to also have turned on the coaching staff when Marc Trestman was the head coach. Do you get the sense that Matt Eberflus has kind of lost the locker room right now, or do you think maybe firing Shane Waldron and promoting Thomas Brown can kind of, right that ship?
Yeah. So first things when it comes to Treshman, I've never turned on a coach. If you're not performing like you're supposed to, I'm always bought in because as a team, you have to be if you want to go out there and win games and actually perform better. Now, if you're not performing as a coach, that's on you. It's gonna show. And same thing with Eberflus. I'm not 100% confident that he's lost the locker room, so to speak, but I do think he fired Shane Waldron to save his own job or to try to save his own job. Um, and when it comes to this, where they're at now, I think it could be a good thing. Maybe Thomas will lean more into the running game and establishing the run and focusing on that because it's obviously exciting when you have a new or a first pick, former Heisman Trophy winner quarterback. And yeah, you want to throw the ball and do all the bells and whistles and stuff. But when it comes down to NFL football, you have to be smash mouth. Like you have to have a physical type of run game to complement your defense and to complement and take a lot of the pressure off of a rookie quarterback or a quarterback in general. Because very rarely can a quarterback come in and take the full shoulder and just change the game on his own. It takes everybody. And that's why football is so great, is because it's the ultimate team sport. Everybody has to be on the same page at all times. And even when everybody's on the same page, you still got to do something special with when you have the ball in your hands. You got to make people miss. You got to be able to make special plays, catches, all of that. What the offensive coordinator's job is to do is to put guys in position to actually do that. And if you're, playing against tough defenses, which is going to be every week, 50-50 is not good enough. You're going to have to put them in position where it's like 75-25, 80-20, 90-10, whereas, you have the benefit of knowing where you're going and the defense has to react. So if you're able to do that and they're reacting, they're always going to be a step behind because they're reacting. But if you're on your heels all the time, you know, they get paid too. They make a living being on
Yep.
defense. So um, you know, I don't think he's lost the locker room now. The way things are continuing to go, I just think they need kind of I think the Bears need transformation. They need transformation from the inside out. I'm talking about scouting department, front office, coaches, players, all of that, all the way down from top to bottom. Transformation in the fact of whatever you're doing has not been working, is not working. And there are certain things when we watch the game that's frustrating because there's certain things that happen that shouldn't happen. We can go to the indie game, the option play, that's terrible. That's ridiculous to be. And
Yes.
then the game where they ran the refrigerator Perry type of run that didn't work. It's like,
Yep.
what are we doing? And then just this last week, um, on 3rd and 3, midfield, we fake a run and fake a reverse and then throw the reverse for a loss of 8. Like that's just bad. That's bad football.
Yeah.
Um, call plays that are high percentage success rates in those situations. And then even the Hail Mary thing, like only I didn't even watch it live. I turned the game off and I was like, the game's a wrap. And then come home and I'm like, I felt like something like that was gonna happen. Like
It was the opposite of the Arizona game
yeah,
during your
you
guys'.
we practice that every week. It's a thing that you practice every week. We know how Hail Marys go. One or two people are in the back of the end zone, everybody else jumps, and then a few people, like one DB or two, is in the front to get the front part of the tip if it tips forward. And it was a quintessential mess up. Like everybody jumps and the ball tips and then the guy's in the back of the end zone. Like
Yeah.
so, certain things like that just shouldn't happen, and you got to be on your A game all the time. So it's a mindset and a standard that has to be set, and it's a culture that has to be built in the locker room. But that culture comes from top down.
That's a great response. I appreciate your time. The good luck next week in the pickleball tournament, the Smirnoff Smash tournament, and hopefully whoever comes up against you, you guys win.
Yeah,
And yeah, if I did see, just to end it, I did see that you recently wrote a children's book. Is there
yeah.
anything else that you have going on that you just want to share? Let everyone know what's going on in your life.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. You brought up the podcast. That's the newest thing. The children's book me and my daughter wrote, My Hair Can, is available everywhere and is been really fun to do. But what's on the horizon, which I'm actually writing and editing right now, is a memoir that's being published by the same book publishing company, Tyndale, which will be a memoir slash life lessons that I've learned throughout my entire life and also pro football and in retirement. So that will be coming out probably either 2025 or 26. So I'm doing all kind of stuff, man. I'm playing pickleball, I'm writing books, I'm doing podcasts. I'm just, enjoying life and having fun, uh, you know, with the blessings that God has given me. So yeah, November 20th, if y'all want to come out and get smashed at some pickleball, I'll be there. My teammate will be Kaiser from the Chicago Sky, former Chicago Sky, and yeah, I mean, tons of stuff there, man. Tons of festivity, food, drinks, all of that stuff.
That's fantastic. Well, again, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
All right, Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. That was a pretty awesome interview. Matt Forte, very humble guy, down to earth, easy to talk to. I know we didn't talk just about the Bears, but getting a background on his, pickleball history, where he is right now with everything he's got going on. I highly suggest checking out their podcast. I know I subscribed to it after this episode or after this interview. There's just so many things he has going on. I can't wait to read his memoir. I hope that gets finalized and published in the next year or two. The guy is just competitive. One of my favorite all-time players, right? Like that 102 reception season, he was the guy that actually helped me win my first fantasy football championship when I drafted him as a rookie, his rookie season. It's just been a fun time watching his career. 8 years here in Chicago, 2 years with the Jets. And I wish him all the best. I know he's got a lot of great things going on in his future. So again, if you are 21 years of age or older, okay, 21 and up, definitely, and you got nothing to do tomorrow, go check out this pickleball tournament at SBF Chicago. Again, link will be in the description. You can find that link and go see if there's still registration spots available. They are limited, but again, there are. I tried doing it right before I recorded this, and it does look like there are spots still there. So until then, until this Sunday, or no, we got a midweek episode coming up here with Bobo. Bob Weiss and I will be doing a midweek episode previewing the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll try to get that out here in the next day or two as well. Until then, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave some comments. Let us know what you thought about Matt Forte's comments. Lot to dissect there. I thought it was really interesting. I said I was getting ready to go, but I thought it was really interesting, the conversation we had comparing the Marc Trestman and Matt Forte era. I'm sorry, the Matt Eberflus era. Maybe Matt Forte should coach this team. I don't know. All right. Until then, until we talk again, bear down, claws up.